All right, today I'm gonna show you guys how to film a car commercial that looks like this.
Since the beginning, we were destined to explore and push the boundaries of innovation, not made to stay still, but to discover new frontiers. New thinking, new possibilities. Kona.
First, I want to give a shout out to Justin Thong, who won my new shirt by writing the funniest comment that you can see right here from last week's video. So let's get right into this. Watch this video until the end to learn how you can enter into our car commercial competition to win $1,000. So about 2 months ago, my good friend and amazing filmmaker, Joey Palmroos, reached out to me.
How's it going, Austin?
Oh, hello there. What's up, man? How you doing?
Dude, I'm not catching you at a bad time or anything.
No, just spinning in my office chair. That's what I do. He's in Finland and he had this idea. He's like, during this quarantine, what if we create a car commercial but in multiple countries, and you film with your skills over there and I'll film with my skills over here, and we'll take both of our shots and combine it into one epic commercial. And I was super excited about it, and I thought it'd be great because honestly, like, a lot of people know me for product videos, but really what I started was with more high action sports, adventure, car commercials, all that kind of stuff. And that's kind of what I'm actually known for. Before this whole quarantine thing happened, that's what I was doing for a lot of my work. So our aim for this car commercial was simple. We wanted to take the two of us and compete with the high-end car commercials that you see on TV, but just between the two of us and our girlfriends, and not with a huge production team and really high-end gear. I hope you enjoy. The first thing that we did was pre-plan. We hopped on a lot of meetings. We did meetings nonstop of what the direction we wanted to go, what was important about the story, how we're gonna showcase the car, and to make sure that we're not overlapping too much with similar shots. And he told me that he'd be in Finland and Norway, so I let him handle that. And me and Kendall decided to start planning our trips. First place that me and Kendall decided to go was up the coast of California to Oregon and Washington. Sunrise on the Oregon coast. We're setting up the Inspire 2, and we're gonna rock some drone shots, follow shots of the car. I like using this thing, but honestly, because it's so large and cumbersome, I don't use it all the time, and pretty much just use whatever is necessary for the job. But right now, this is what I want to use because we have the time to set it up, and we have the space, and it's gonna be awesome. Found another sick off-road spot. Kendall's in the car. I'm gonna try to attempt running and see how smooth we can be. I'm gonna stay close and at an angle right here, because the thing is with a lot of car shots, people will try to stay very centered and balanced, and that doesn't ever really look good. If you look at a lot of car commercials, they actually are kind of at interesting kind of canted angles off to the side. You don't really want to be center for your car shots. Officially headed into Washington on our drive. Woo!
It might take a little longer for us to be cool again.
It might take a little longer
For us to be cool again.
Where are we, baby?
Long Beach, Washington.
On the road.
On the road. Highway 20, I don't know what highway, 25 I think? I don't know.
Maybe we
I'm
park
gonna
up
hit this
here.
bird.
Move it, bird!
Move that bird! Move it! Your feet are not stuck in the sand.
Okay. I am physically out of shape, I think. I mean, the issue with a lot of places that you go when you want to go to beautiful places is you're not really allowed to fly a drone. You know that we're allowed to drive on the park. And so I ran with the camera and the stabilizer next to the car as fast as I could. And I haven't done sprints since probably high school, and I don't feel too good right now. I think we had to do it 4 times. Also, the car got stuck, so I had to push that out 3 times, and then a guy luckily helped us push it. And even then, I felt like I was back in football practice. Okay, so some things that are gonna happen usually when you're shooting outdoors or anything is equipment is going to fail time and time again, and you're just gonna have to get used to that. And I think there's 2 types of people with film equipment. There are people that keep their stuff really pristine, put it back into packaging, making sure that it doesn't get messed up and making sure there's no scratches on it. And then there's people like me that say, F it, let's get the shot. So what happened, I've had a lot of issues honestly with my Inspire 2, and that's another reason why I like using the Mavic. The image quality on this is just amazing. And this trigger right here, or that locks in the prop, has had so many issues and always jams. And this time, this is not a good example because we actually ripped the blades off, but we didn't crash or anything. When we landed, I tried to get the prop off and it wouldn't come off and it was jammed. It's jammed in, and we've tried everything for the last 2 days. My fingers are raw, numb, and I broke the blades off because we were trying to just take the tension off, and it wouldn't twist because this thing is loose. It's loosed itself up and it's jammed. And so literally, I finally am trying everything, tools, different things, trying to ply it out. I took a knife and I was thinking, I'm just gonna saw the crap out of this, and so the pressure would release on this a little bit so it would be more pliable. And finally, after 2 days of fucking around with it, it's off. After that trip, we came back to San Francisco and we stayed at home and filmed about 5 or 6 days in the city itself. All right, so this is probably one of the dumbest ideas I've had, but what Joey did turned out really cool. So the concept here is that Joey's taking his probe lens, and as the car's driving forward, he's gonna go inside the grill, and then you're gonna see this oil going through a tube, and then all of a sudden it's gonna pull out to my location, which is gonna be a flame that we're shooting right here into the exhaust where it's pulling out and the car's driving away. So it starts in Norway or Finland, wherever he's decided to shoot that, and then it's gonna pull out here in California or the Salt Flats. I haven't decided that part yet, but that doesn't matter. Right now we're just shooting the flame inside the exhaust, and what we're doing is we're just taking a black PVC pipe and shooting the flame through here, and I'm just using the slider, and we're starting in like this, and Kendall's gonna shoot it, and I'm just gonna pull back. Lastly, we were able to keep the car a little bit longer, and they allowed us to go out to Utah to film at the Bonneville Salt Flats, and this was an amazing experience. Behind you. I'll be on your left low side. I'm trying to get the Kona sign. So we started in the morning at the Salt Flats, and since we shot there yesterday, it turned out great. And so we just got some like shots for safety. And then we saw these mountains up here, as you can see how beautiful it is, and these roads. And I have 2 more full-time filmmakers from the group on Facebook, and I reached out and they said they wanted to come out here. And I forgot what's your drone?
FPV Unlocked.
FPV Unlocked. So he flies FPV drones professionally, and I'm semi-average. And so what we're doing is he's gonna actually go up to the top of this mountain peak and go through the valley, and we're gonna be driving down this road with the car, and he's gonna follow through, and it's gonna be really, really sick. We're gonna try it a few times because it's definitely gonna take a few times. He's got his drone right there that we're gonna do it, and we're just sticking the GoPro on there. And if you want to learn more about FPV droning, learn it from them, FPV Unlocked. And then I also got Bailey Ingram Films. He's helping out with the BTS. Kendall's working in the car right now, but she was driving earlier. So I'm gonna drive this because it's a little bit sketchier.
Any famous words, Jacob? Kids, don't try this at home.
So now let's go over a list of helpful tips that I think will take your car commercials to the next level. Number 1, pre-production is really important, but when you are gonna go shoot at a location, make sure to pre-scout it. If it's too far for you to drive, Google Maps or Google Images is very great, but don't be deceived by just a beautiful image, because you have to make sure that the road that you're gonna be driving on has a good enough access and angle for a view to see that location. Because a lot of times what will happen is that location or beautiful view is not really seen by the road. And so if you're in a car and you're trying to shoot that, you're not gonna get that beautiful shot with the car in it. So be very aware for the places that you plan to shoot. Sunrises and sunsets. I prefer personally sunrise.
It is 4:21 a.m. and we're up to drive an hour and a half to the Salt Flats.
And why do I prefer sunrise? The reason sunrise is more important is because you have less people on the road. And when you have less people on the road, that's gonna up your production value right away. Because if you watch any major car commercial, there's no other cars in it but that car. And I can't afford to block a road or pay to close a road for the day. I'm sure you can't either. And so a trick is sunrise. Number 3, following with the whole sunrise thing, make sure you at least try to plan 2 days at one location, because what happens is nature. And nature is very unpredictable. I can't tell you how many times that I've shot in San Francisco for sunrises and the sunrise just never comes, or the weather is terrible. And even if you check your app and it tells you that the weather is gonna be good, sometimes the weather is bad. So at least if you have the time, try to get 2 days at that location. Number 4, and this one's really important, it's car movement. In a lot of amateur car commercials, what I notice is people love to line the car up center, just like me in this camera right now, and have the car and the follow car just moving like this, and the person's shooting out the back with their gimbal. And that's great, but let's add some dynamic movement to the shot. Let's make it more cinematic. And how are we gonna do that? I call it J's and L's. And so that's literally a J or an L, the car moving like this, in front of the follow car and drop down and back. Or a J, where it's gonna start from the back of the car and then move up. Number 5, high angles and low angles. Again, a lot of people love to center up the car, but if you watch car commercials, there's a lot of very low angles and there's a lot of very high angles. There's even some canted angles, which is where the camera's twisted. Get close to the car, get only the front fender, or get really low and only get the tire, or maybe only get the grill as it's moving. I can't recommend this one enough. Get a polarizer ND filter. I personally use the Polar Pro polarizer ND filter, and that gets rid of 2 of my needs when I'm shooting outside. 1, it helps reduce the glare on the car from the polarizer side, and then the ND filter itself allows me to keep at the optimal settings that I want. So if I'm shooting at 24 frames or 23.9876, I can be at shutter 50 no matter how bright it is because I can put the right ND filter on. Number 7, keep your car clean. I believe that me and Kendall probably washed the car about 5 times in the month that we had it. And you wanna always make sure that you take the car to the car wash before the day of the shoot. It's just like putting makeup on your actress or actor and making them pretty, or making sure that there's no blemishes on your product. You wanna make sure the car is clean for the shoot. Lastly, people seem to love to make excuses about why they can and can't shoot things. A lot of the times, it's gonna be very hard to have a follow car. So what I recommend is, whenever you're in a situation, just do whatever is necessary. If you can't do the follow car, then screw it, just bring your tripod. If you can't do that, screw it, just run with your gimbal. If you can't do that, screw it, skateboard, I don't care. Pretty much in all the shots that I did, or most of my shots, if I wasn't using my drone for the fast-paced shots, a lot of the times we didn't have a follow car, it's just me and Kendall. So I would get out and sprint with the gimbal in hand. So down to some brass tacks. Brass tacks time. All right, so when making any film, music choice is so important. It's gonna dictate how the video comes across, how it feels, how it flows, everything. And that is why I use Artlist. I am sponsored by Artlist for this video, and I'm giving them a shout out. If you go into the link in my bio, you can sign up and you also get a month free. But it's insane because honestly, you barely pay anything for unlimited songs, and you have the commercial rights to use it for your work, for paid gigs, for fun, for whatever, and it's super high quality music. So now for the competition. I'm gonna be reading this from my phone because Joey wrote up all this mumbo jumbo, and you guys know me, I'm not very good at speaking, so we'll go with this. Joey and I, along with Hyundai Finland and Artlist, are putting together a film a car commercial competition where our favorite commercial will win $1,000. The only rule is that you can't film the car while driving. No driving shots. So you have to show creativity in your films. You can use whatever car you have available to you, whether it be a toy car, a bicycle, or even a tractor. We don't care, we just wanna see people be as creative as possible to get amazing shots of their cars and be as unique as possible, be as crazy as possible. We wanna see what you guys have. You got 2 weeks starting from today to send the commercials in. The deadline for this competition is August 26th. You can send your films to the email address mentioned in the description box below. All right, you guys, this is it for how to film a car commercial tutorial. I really hope that you guys learned something from the tips and tricks that I've said earlier or previously. And I'm really excited that our commercial will be airing on TV in the Nordic region. And I just want to say thank you to Joey Palmroos for this opportunity. If you haven't checked out his work, he's a super, super talented filmmaker and has some amazing tutorials. So check out his page, link somewhere. It's gonna pop up. Please join the competition. It's $1,000, literally just to go shoot something of yours that you could say is a car, toy car, I don't care. Just be creative, that's all I say, because I wanna see something unique. And then lastly, if you guys like this video or have any comments, please comment below. Please like it if you like it, and please share it if you love it. Yeah, till next time.
Since the beginning, we were destined to explore and push the boundaries of innovation, not made to stay still, but to discover new frontiers. New thinking, new possibilities. Kona.